Hey, Clemson family, for most Tigers fans, this is the biggest week of the regular season, isn't it?
I'm Daniel Shirley. It definitely is. This is the game that we all look forward to all year, the one that people in South Carolina talk about for an entire year. Going to be fun to break it down and get ready for Saturday's game.
Clemson versus South Carolina 2022. I'm Bill Zimmerman. Welcome to episode 44 of the Reign Supreme Alway podcast. We want to be your source for analysis of the Tigers in 2022. Thanks for joining us on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast apps that are out there. Give us a follow, a like, a subscribe, if you will. We'll keep this a free podcast. Well, let's get straight to it. A lot of confidence for the Gamecocks coming into this after knocking Tennessee basically out of the playoff race. A very unexpected win, definitely their biggest quality win of the year by far, perhaps their only real quality win. Can they do it again, I guess is the big question.
Yeah, I was shocked by that, Bill. I'm not shocked that they won because I didn't know that I trusted Tennessee to be what a lot of people thought Tennessee was. But if you just said, hey, that game's going to be 63-38, I might have thought Tennessee was going to win 63-38. And then to see South Carolina dominate that game and really control both sides of the ball was kind of a shock.
Definitely increases the magnitude of the task on hand for the Clemson Tigers. Apologize for a little road noise here, by the way, while I'm doing this. Getting ready for Thanksgiving. Hope everyone's going to really enjoy the holiday. I would think that Clemson is going to want to work the running game again when the Tigers have the ball. Lean on Shipley, lean on Mafah. By the way, Kobe Pace is back. He had a big game last year against South Carolina. And then DJ Uiagalelei, who ran very effectively last week. And even though his teammates call him Dead Leg DJ because he's not the most fleet of foot, he's certainly not Kelly Bryant out there running the ball. He was effective. He knows how to use his blockers as chess pieces, knows how to get a couple extra yards here or there when he can. And that's been keeping the Tigers on count. So we'll see if we see some two-back set with combinations of Shipley, Mafah, and Pace, along with DJ running the ball. They are going to have to throw it from time to time to keep the defense honest, aren't they?
They are. I like the two-back set. I think we talked about that a lot during the offseason, how much we both like that. And we saw it in this game last year. We saw it in the bowl game last year. And it really showcased the best part of the Clemson offense. And I think that's that running back group. That you've got Will Shipley, you've got Phil Mafah. Now you've got Kobe Pace back, and he's healthy. Maybe not 100% healthy, but he's getting close, and he's fresh. And Phil Mafah should be fresh after not getting many carries last week. So let's showcase that running game. Let's showcase those running backs. I think the offensive line has played well for the most part this year, which is a huge upgrade over what we saw last year. And let's see the Tigers run the ball on Saturday. I would love to watch a dominant running game Saturday against this South Carolina defense that is susceptible to the run and has given up almost 4.8 yards per carry. I'd like to see the Clemson offense really focus on the running game on Saturday.
Tigers do expect to get wide receiver Bo Collins back in the mix this week. I think Joe Ngata has shown more of his ability in recent weeks. Antonio Williams obviously blossoming and growing up before our eyes during his true freshman year. Might have to involve the tight ends, much like they did last week, because there isn't a whole lot of give in that South Carolina pass defense.
The best part of the South Carolina defense is the secondary. They don't get much pressure. They have 24 sacks this year. Let's use the tight ends. Let's see the offense go to the tight ends. Get Brenningstool involved. I love what he brings to this offense. Obviously, Davis Allen is a star. And get him involved as well, and keep that secondary out of the mix a little bit. I think you can do some damage with the tight ends. I think you can exploit the linebackers a little bit in the passing game, and then maybe use the running backs with some screens and get them on the edge a little bit with some passing game as well. But I do think you're right. The tight ends need to be a big part of this.
Well, when South Carolina has the ball, the key apparently for Clemson is going to be getting pressure on quarterback Spencer Rattler. Tennessee did not manage to do that last week and paid the price. Other top teams that have played South Carolina this year have been able to contain that Gamecocks offense, able to get Rattler rattled and get him out of his comfort zone and not operating the offense at its peak efficiency and without much of a running game to lean on. I think you said they averaged about 120 plus yards per game when we were getting ready for the episode. And the Clemson front seven is going to have to work hard to make sure that he is not seeing the field well.
Their running game is averaging 129 yards a game and 3.9 yards per carry. So it's not great. It's solid. I mean, it could get the job done if that's the game you're trying to play. But I do think it does everything for this Clemson defense hinges on pressure on Saturday. If they can get pressure up front, blitz, whatever you got to do to get that pressure, and keep him off his mark, keep him off schedule, I think you're looking at a much different result than what we saw last week for sure. I just that Tennessee defense, again, I'm not an expert on scheme or any of that kind of stuff, but I know they didn't get any pressure on him, and he sat back in the pocket and had all day to the ball. He has 14 touchdown passes this year, and 6 of them came Saturday. So that defense did not get the job done. I can't imagine that Clemson will follow that same game plan. I would think we're going to see a lot of pressure from this Clemson front, from Coach Goodwin and the staff, and see them try to get after him and get him in the pocket and get him down.
Tigers definitely need to get pressure on Rattler and need to do it the right way. And what I mean by that is responsibly, not just 3 or 4 guys coming at him full bore. Guys have to stay on their assignment, know when it's their turn to make a blitz or just try to apply pressure, even if they're coming out of a base alignment. And once one guy goes, it can't be a free-for-all. Other guys have to make sure that they own their part of the field and be ready in case the ball comes in that direction.
No doubt. We've seen this team be kind of reckless on defense at times. And now, I think the group has gotten away from that. But earlier in the year, that was a problem. And we saw screen passes were a big part of the opposing team's offenses. And they were getting some big plays. So, yeah, I'm with you. You have to get pressure, but do it, like you said, the right way. And yeah, you can blitz, but you can't be reckless in those blitzes. And you can't have other guys not doing their assignment and kind of leaving people out on an island a little bit. So I think it feels like the defense has gotten away from that and has improved in that and much more responsible in what it's trying to get done. And we'll see what happens, Bill, but I like the improvement we've seen from the defense the last couple of weeks, and hopefully that'll continue Saturday against the Gamecocks.
And I'm kind of hoping that win over Tennessee for South Carolina kind of gets the Tigers a little more serious about approaching this game, being prepared, but also making sure that, don't, as I've been saying lately, don't get up and let up. Like, don't assume that just because you're up 2 scores, the game's in hand, we got this is going to keep happening this way. No, teams have fighting back. South Carolina's going to be bringing a lot of pride into this and wanting to take this game very seriously. Looking to knock 2 teams fully out of the playoff back-to-back would be a heck of a thing to hang their hat on going into the offseason. So Clemson really needs to be sure that, hey, leave no doubt, right?
For sure. I think we have seen this program grow to the point that it's not – there aren't those lapses in focus. Now, they're going to lose games, and we saw that in the Notre Dame game. They didn't look very focused in that game, but I don't think it's to the point where they take teams lightly or overlook teams like maybe they did under the previous regime and coaching staff. So I definitely think South Carolina's performance last Saturday has to get your attention, has to keep your focus, and it just shows you that they have that in them. And if they've got it in them, then you really need to be ready for it and ready to play. And then hopefully on the other side on the offense, Clemson can stop turning the ball over and be focused on the little things and the fundamentals of taking care of the ball. And if they do that, look, I think Clemson wins the game. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout or anything like that, but if Clemson is focused and ready to play, they're going to win this game.
Don't need a blowout, although that would be a lot of fun. Just need a win to stay in the playoff picture. I mentioned in the past that making the playoffs, winning a national championship, those things aren't part of the team's stated goals as laid out by Dabo Swinney. However, these guys all come to Clemson talking about hey, going to come here, going to win a natty. I mean, we've seen it just with the recruits of the last couple of weeks. Hey, we're going to win natties together. They're tweeting that at each other. So it's definitely something that the players want and take seriously. They've got to win the next 2 games. Tigers not where I think they should be in the playoff rankings based on their accomplishments. They're suffering because of the eyeball test right now. Can't worry about that. Got to just get the wins and understand that a conference championship, if you beat North Carolina and you've already beaten South Carolina at that point, the conference championship is going to add something to your equation.
Yeah, look, if you win this week and then win next week and win a conference title and you're 12-1, you're going to have the data point, the quote-unquote data point that the committee talks about all the time that maybe somebody else doesn't have. But you can't worry about that this week. You just have to focus on winning games and let things fall where they may. And look, if you don't get in, you don't get in. But if you're 12-1 with an ACC title with 1 loss against Notre Dame on the road, I think there's a pretty good shot you're going to be in, depending on what else happens across the country.
Really eager to see this game coming up Saturday at noon in Death Valley. Going to be a special one, I have a feeling. We are glad you found us, Clemson family. Check out our homepage, clemsonkickoff.com. Follow us on your favorite podcast app. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And follow us on social media at Clemson Kickoff on Twitter and on Instagram. Well, until our next episode after the South Carolina game and after we've all had our fill of turkey and then hopefully some chicken on Saturday, I'm Bill Zimmerman.
I'm Daniel Shirley. Go Tigers.